Hello everyone. Bernie here from Stampin' Up. Welcome back to my craft from this Tuesday evening. It is Tuesday, the 22nd of October. If you are watching this on the replay, hello, Mum. What does Mum have to say? Hello, everyone from a sunny but chilly Pretoria. Oh, right. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. We've got Rich here again. Next to me, he has literally just slid in from washing dishes. We had a delicious Sri Lankan beef curry for dinner tonight that I put in the slow cooker. Hello, Leslie Ann. Hello, hello. Well, we have had beautiful spring weather the last 2 days. So I've been out doing some walks with some friends, been out in the garden, pulling up weeds and things I've got permission to grow. So we've had, I've had a wonderful day, a really awesome day. And now I get to spend a couple of hours with you. Hello, Marsha, all the way from Texas. Good evening. Welcome. If this is your first time with us, welcome, welcome. Lovely having you join us from far away. So it must be, Monday evening your side. So good to have you all with us this evening. I am really excited about the card that I'm going to be doing tonight. It is a little bit different from my normal style, so I would love your feedback as to whether you've enjoyed it once we finished it. The inspiration, I saw this on Facebook last week and I thought, oh, let me see if I can do something similar. So a very different style to my normal style, but I quite like it. I like the different colors. So shall we head over there and show you what we're going to do tonight? So it's got a bit of a vintage feel to it. And all the measurements, I'll obviously mention them as I make them, but they should be going live on my blog, if I remember correctly, about 8 o'clock New Zealand daylight time this evening. If you are somebody that has a electronic cutter, like a Cricut machine or a Silhouette, then you will be able to find something similar on your machine, but the links for these little cheats are in my blog post as well. If you do have a Cricut machine, you are more than welcome to click on that link and then you can cut the exact one. So it's a little bit of a cheat, but if you have stamps that look like this, go ahead, use those. I didn't. So I just used my imagination, I used my initiative and did cut those. So let's start then. What have I got? Let me get all my pieces out. So the bases, the colors are really different. So we've got a pecan pie base. We have a smoky slate layer, and then pecan pie is where I'm going to be doing my matte on. And then we're actually going to be doing this background with Berry Vanilla and blends. So, there's an ant. So let's just move that out the way. So let's start with the background. And I am actually going to be using the Decorative Tree stamp set for this. And I'm going to be using the stars as well as the May Your Days Be Merry. So those are the stamps that I'm going to be using for the background and for creating the interest on that. And I'm going to start off by stamping all of those in early espresso. So let's move that card out the way. And because I'm using my photopolymer, I'm just going to be using a background for that. So how has everyone been the last week? It's been a whole week. I can't believe we're at the end of October already. How have you been? What's been happening?
Well, it's still a week to go.
What do you mean it's a week to go? To the end of the month?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it's...
Still got one more Tuesday.
Yeah, I know, but
we're hurtling like the comet over New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly.
Towards the end of the month.
That's exactly what I mean.
Has anybody seen the comet? The New Zealanders watching?
I haven't. It's too late. I'm in bed like a real nanobun.
It's got such a large orbit. It only comes around this neck of the woods every 80,000 years. So
80,000 years?
80,000. So I don't think we'll be around next time.
No, I'm just looking for what have I done with my stamp cleaner? Oh, there it is. All right, let me just go and get my, I thought I had brought everything up. Okay, let me just clean my stamp. So what I've done is I've just created a border with the stars. With my other one, I used a little bit more of the stamps in the center, and then I realized, I'm not actually going to see that, so there's no point in using that. So the stars go around, so they are from the Decorative Trees. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Jackie. Thank you, my friend. Yes, look at that. They're a little bit of, but this one's got a bit pointy. Oh, is my camera being naughty again? My camera's not allowed to be naughty. All right, now I'm going to take my blending brush with a bit of early espresso. I just want to bring, so cool to see you online, my friend. And I'm just going to blend around the edges. So this is sort of where we start to grunge this up a bit. Whoops, I'm shaking the whole camera. Sorry. I will bring it closer to the camera. Okay, so we've got a little bit of dark early espresso going in there. And then I'm actually going to also bring in a little bit of crumb cake as well. Would you mind passing me that blue cloth next to you, please? So I can just get some of this dark ink off. So I just use my an old cloth, and I just get some of the ink off it so that it doesn't transfer onto, especially if I'm going from a dark brown to a light brown. So I'm just bringing in some of my crumb cake over that early espresso just to accent the edges. So I saw a very, very, very funny thing on Facebook, and I actually shared it on my page. And it's this couple that you see them starting off in a hotel room, and they are checking things out at such a speed, like a major speed. So I'm just going to mount that onto my smoky slate board layer. And they go down to the breakfast and they scoff their breakfast like big time. Now, you're wondering why these stars at the back. It's because I had to sort of do this layer. I had to do this layer for my reel that I made. Hold on, I just need to get my glue. You know what I didn't do over the weekend is I forgot to close my glue. And now I think it keeps being blocked. There we go. All right. Anyway, so they scoff their breakfast, like they literally stuff their mouths. They climb in their V-dub and they go like crazy fast. And they gallivant, they're in the rural area. And then eventually you see them throwing on these clothes with beanies and jackets, and then they go into a tent and then come out the other end of the tent looking like they've spent the night sleeping in the tent. Oh, and they're obviously camping with friends because their friends are at the fireside. Yeah, it's rather funny. Anyway, so if you follow me on Facebook on my personal page, you'll see that. Oh, why is it doing that? It's out of focus. It's out of focus again. All right, is it back in focus? It was doing that last week. Come on. Is that better? It's doing it again.
No.
This is so annoying. Come on.
Lift it up. There we go. That's better.
Why is it doing this? My camera's been doing dodgy things this week. Oh, come on, guys.
It's better.
No, the minute I go back.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to have to just show you. I'm going to just have to bring it back. So is it happy now?
That's fine.
It's happy now. Okay. So
I think it's the color. That's quite a dark color.
It is interesting. It does that, eh? Right. So I've got a very vanilla. Sorry, I'm just pausing to see if it's actually behaving. I've got a very vanilla piece that I cut with my perennial postage die. So I used that big one. And then we're going to also cut 4 little pieces out of pecan pie. It comes and goes, Mum says. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My phone has started to give me a few issues this last week. So I hope it's not on its way out. So what I've done is I've obviously started some lines there because, like I said, was busy recording earlier today for my reel that I always make of my lives. Yeah, it is going in and out, hey. So you just need a grid, and I'm just going to orientate my real red, oops, I'm going skew, my real red blender pen, and I'm just drawing some candy lines across. Don't worry if it's too skew, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like my friend always says, it's not made in China. Now, if you have a striped piece of designer series paper, you could use it, but I didn't. So I'm just making my own. And I'm using the broad tip. Right, I'm just going across. And just cutting to an end. All right, so that was nice and easy. And now I'm going to bring back this mat, and with my piercing tool, I'm going to make some holes. Now, if you are somebody that does bookbinding, you might have one of those nice flash rulers that measure it out precisely, but I don't have one of those, so I'm just eyeballing this. It's making a funny sound. Is that camera behaving itself, Rich?
Yeah.
Because I can't see. I'm just concentrating on my holes that I'm digging in my cardstock.
So while you're making holes, in your newsletter that came out today, Bernie, I thought your weekly newsletter, I thought you had a really, really cool tip that you shared in your newsletter.
Yeah, about the cardstock.
About how the cardstock and how to
stop it from bending. Yeah, so that's it's quite a problem when you do. I just want to check that these have come through. Cool. So often what happens when you have cardstock is when you're using your heat tool is that you can heat and it bends because obviously paper's a fiber, and an easy way to do that is obviously hold up the cardstock so that you are letting the air go through it. But the other way, if that's still not working, is just to spray it afterwards with water on the opposite side. So not the side that you've embossed or that you've done any of your, maybe you've done it because you've done some watercoloring or something and then it bends. You just lightly spray it. I'm just trying to get this in. Lightly spray the opposite side of the cardstock. Hold on,
I thought that was a really cool tip and trick. So right. I think you put something in your newsletter every week, a tip and a trick?
No, I don't. I do the tips and tricks every month, once a month.
Once a month?
Yeah.
So if you don't subscribe to the newsletter yet, where can they go to subscribe?
Yep, so you can go to stampinit.com onto my blog site, and there's a little thing on the right-hand side that you will receive a free card tutorial if you subscribe to my newsletters. And once a week, I'd only come into your inbox once a week on a Tuesday. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this thread. And there's always a tutorial once a month. There's a card tip once a month, or a crafting tip rather. And then, yeah, just updates on what's going on my little craft world. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this threaded. I don't want to use that thick. I should have done this ahead of time rather than sitting on the camera now, on a threaded needle, because I don't want to use the big fat one because it's going to be a problem, and I do need to thread this. All right, just keep talking while I'm... Let's see if I use the big fat one, if it's going to be a problem. I'm scared it's going to tear my paper. So you could, of course, sew this with a machine. I had this in and then I took it out because I thought it's too thick. Where the sewers now, they're all yelling at me to do it a particular way, probably. I took it out because it felt like as I put it through the paper that it was going to damage my paper. This is annoying. So just what I've done here is I've just taken ordinary linen thread and I've actually coloured it. All right, this just has to work. I've coloured it with my blend. So I just literally just made it red thread. So let's just see how we go. I'll just have to be very careful. I was just a bit worried that it's going to tear because it's quite, the eye of this needle is there. Right, we go quietly. If we go quietly, then it won't hear us, hey?
Quite.
And it won't hear us. Okay. Hang on, so I'm just going to put a little bit of tear and tape over that piece, but I don't want it over the holes. I just literally want to just keep it from running through. Okay, so I'm just going to sew this with you guys. Hopefully I have enough thread, otherwise that'll be awkward. Okay. Man, I'm going to have to go slowly with this one. And here's me going, let me just do some sewing with all my crafting friends tonight. That'll be nice and relaxing to watch. Sure, it is relaxing. So what has everybody been watching on? Any recommendations for us to watch on Netflix or books to read? I've been reading The Secret Diary of Hendrik Groen. It's 83 and a quarter years old.
Is the title.
Is the title of the book. It's based on the real diary entries. It's a true story. Real diary entries of this gentleman in a rest home in Amsterdam.
In what era did they say?
No, it's 2013. So it's only like 10 years ago. And in some ways it's hysterical, but in other ways it's actually really sad. And probably because I did a stint for 18 months in a rest home as a kitchen assistant. I just needed to do something different after I left banking. And I got to see a whole different side to rest homes. My camera's still coming and going, or is it behaving?
I think it's mostly okay.
Right. So, any recommendations of a good book to read once I've finished this one? What do you
We've
read?
been watching some of those medical things on YouTube.
Yeah, the surgery ones.
Surgery ones, real life surgery things in the UK.
Oh, and then
those are being pretty good.
And then I watched the video that you sent, Mom, of the JAG, the real JAG, the interview of the real guy that did the flying. That
Tom
was
Cruise movie.
for the Maverick, Top Gun Maverick. That was fascinating. How he had to wear that piece of hair stuck at the back of his neck because a lot of the shots were done from behind. It was so interesting. And I didn't realize, I genuinely thought that they were just sort of, I don't know what I thought. I didn't realize it was actual, that there was actual an actual plane, an actual pilot flying those ridiculously low heights. That was crazy. So that was very interesting. YouTube interview. Everybody's quite quiet online tonight. Maybe I'm putting them to sleep with my sewing. Quite relaxing. So what's the date? The 22nd. So it's almost 2 months to Christmas, eh? Goodness. I was making some Christmas presents today. I was decoupaging some glass bottles. I'm going to turn them into tea light holders. They look quite pretty. So what do I need to still do then? I need to get some washi tape and some wire. You can't really get wire in New Zealand. I went on to my to 10. I'll have to go and have a look on the weekend maybe, lovey.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like selling it in like 20 meters. I'm like, yeah. I don't think I need 20 meters of wire.
I should ask a builder friend or somebody.
I don't need 20 meters of wire. I just need half a meter, maybe a meter. Are we almost done?
Leslie Anstey, she's chilling out, giving other people a turn to chat online tonight.
No one's talking. Everyone's so quiet. My friend Annalise sent me a thing today to say that Laura Dickens is going to be deported back to South Africa.
Oh, is she?
Once her sentence is served in New Zealand.
She got inside intel.
No, it was on the news.
Oh, okay.
It was in the New Zealand Herald. Yeah. Yep. All right, we're almost coming to an end. Hello, Maureen. Hello, hello. How hot is it out your part of the world? I've been seeing these temperatures are looking quite high over your side of the Tasman. We're just busy with a Christmas card at the moment. I'm almost done the sewing. So I just created this background with my Real Red blends and Very Vanilla. There we go. Done.
Oh, so you had enough.
I had enough. That was a good guess. Okay, so I'm just going to now stick that on with my glue. I might just lift this actually and stick that other one on just so that I know for sure that that thread is not going to come undone. Like so. Cool. Right, let's glue this little guy on. We've still got a bit of work to do.
It's around 30, says Maureen.
30. Okay, that's not too bad.
Getting up there.
It is heading up there though. All right, so we're going to stick that one over that center of that pecan pie mat. Just apply a bit of pressure because there's obviously a bit of texture there now with my sewing. Oh, I haven't read that one yet, Mum. The YouTube about the lady pilot. Now, I haven't looked at that. I'll probably save that for my Sunday afternoon viewing. I normally sit on a Sunday afternoon and blog out. So I'm just bringing my mat back. So what I've done is with the perennial postage dies, I cut 4 of these little squares. And I'm going to now take my May Your Days Be Merry from the Decorative Trees. So it's this one, May Your Days Be Merry. And I'm going to use, where is it, pecan pie. And we're just going to create a little bit of a background for each of those stamps. So I'm just going to do it one at a time because I found when I did it to had tried to do them together, it was just got too much. So I'm just coming across, and then I'm coming across on the other part of the writing. And then, so what I'm doing is I'm just randomly stamping the words. Okay, like that. And then I'm just going to repeat it. So yeah, Sunday afternoons is my chill time. It's when I sit with my earpods in and I just blob for a couple of hours, maybe more. Some days it drops below the low 20s. Oh, nice. That feels more normal for me now. Can't believe I used to enjoy, well, no, I never used to enjoy the hot days, but I used to be used to the hot days. Oops, I went a bit skewed. Yep, so that's what I do on a Sunday
So when you
afternoon.
say blob for a couple of hours, is that a Kiwi couple or a South African couple?
Probably a South African couple because I'm there for a few hours. And then I also follow this YouTube channel called Just Pilots, and they literally have a GoPro in the cockpit of these long haul planes, and I go all over the world in the cockpit. So if we are ever in an aeroplane and there's an emergency and they need somebody from the passenger to help land the plane, I will volunteer because I know what the terminology is. She says. It's like,
You know the lingo.
Yeah, I know all the lingo, know all the different things that need to be done. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of snow by bringing in my craft ink. Okay, and I'm just ever so slightly dabbing the edges of my cardstock in my snow. See? Look at that. Snow. Okay. Snow. So you're just doing it lightly. You're not doing it crazy. You're just doing it lightly. But no, in all seriousness, it's been such a learning watching those videos because there's a lot there that I didn't even obviously know that goes on in the cockpit. So it's been very interesting. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm taking my right marker pen and I'm just going to create little lines looking like, just to replicate those stitches that I sewed by hand. But this time I'm not going to be doing them by hand. I'm just creating the look, faux stitching. Okay, so that's that one. So there are quite a few chocolate lovers that follow me on my channels, Rich.
Oh, they are they?
Yeah, I put a post this week or last week on my social media asking what sort of lollies people like, and they're quite a lot of chocolate lovers.
I'm not surprised, to be honest.
And I mentioned in there, Mom, about the 2.5 kilograms of chocolate I had to haul over for you and your friends the last time I went to visit. The 10 bars of chocolate. All right, so this one obviously has gone a lot quicker because it's just faux stitching. So now we can pop those down with some glue. Make sure you get your stitching right. Now I do see that I stitched these a lot closer to, well, a little bit further away than the other one, so they're going to be a little bit closer. What's happening? English is a funny language. Cockpit is not a pit, and then I realized how few women pilots there are. What? That's naughty. That's very naughty.
It would be interesting to know the origin
of the word. Yep. Okay, so I'm just tucking those two together. So this is a little bit different to the other one because my stitches were further away. That's fine. That's, you know, each one's going to look a bit different, and that's absolutely fine. So we're coming to an end, slowly but surely. So these little pieces are a bit of a cheat. So I cut these out of I found them and created them using my Cricut machine. It is a nose cone most times. Oh, she's on a roll. Okay, so I'm putting, if you are wanting the link for these little designs, they are going to be on my blog. And if you can't find them, or you're not following me on stampinit.com, please just let me know. Just, you can email me, bernie@stampinit.com, and I'm more than happy to send you the link for these little designs that I used on my Cricut machine. And I just thought, you know what, sometimes we just need to think outside the square. So what I did with these two is I actually brought my Versamark and I just put my finger onto the candy cane and I just stuck that one on, and I'm going to take my iridescent what's the stuff called? Embossing powder, and just dab it in. Whoops. Uh-oh, where's it gone? Come out. It doesn't want to come out. And I don't want to touch it because then it's going to get full of fingerprints. Oh my gosh. It's like our 2-year-old grandson that kept disappearing from us this weekend. Every time we called him, he went running the opposite direction. Okay, I'm just going to use my heat gun and set this iridescent powder. I just love, come here. Hopefully, I don't think you can see this in the camera, but maybe you can, as it's turning shiny. Do that one. And then let's just pick up and do the candy cane. Hi, Anne. Lovely to have you with us. How are you? All right, so we're going to pop some mini dimensionals on these little candy canes. Ooh, they're very blingy now. Just doing a bit of a vintage vibe tonight. Bit of texture and some sewing. Love this card. Yes, I do too. It's not my normal style, but I really love it. Hello, Karen. You love the faux postage. Yes, thank you, Karen. Your order also dispatched today, so it should hopefully be with you soon. Yeah, very easy way to do that. Okay, so there we've got the 4 bits. Now all we look at the bling. You see, it really needed that bling, eh? Cool, looking cute. Now I just need my sentiment. So I'm just taking a tiny bit of scrap of Very Vanilla. Just move that out the way. And I'm replicating the same message that I had in the background, that may your, what does it say? May your days be merry. Same message, but only this time I'm doing it in real red. So I'll just bring that into the camera, get that nice and straight. Oh, I'm going to need to stand maybe. Just stamp that down. Cool. And I'm going to trim it down with my trimmer. I want this just to be a little bit more precise in hand, because the shapes are very straight. I just want to make sure I really get this nice and straight. Okay. Let's just get that. I sometimes just put that down with a piece of washi tape if I think it's going to move. But I'm happy with that. That's good. And then what I actually did was I went with that blending brush that had that bit of crumb cake on it, and I just went over it very lightly to give it that very sort of vintagey aged look. And then I'm going to pop that on some mini dimensionals. Lots of Whittaker lovers. So what's Maureen saying? I love the way the card came together. Yep. It's just such a pretty look. And colours that I normally would not use traditionally for Christmas. So pecan pie, smoky slate, and real red. Who would have thought? So I'm popping my sentiment in the middle. And then the last bit that I want to add to it, just to make it look a little still in that vintage vibe, are my adhesive back textured dots. The very small ones worked really well here. So I'm just putting those on either side. So they go there. And now we can put this onto the card front. So I'm just going to give my, here's my Very Vanilla inner. Just give my card base a good burnish. And then put my last layer on, and then our inner, and then we're done. It's been such a fun card. I think you loved this card, Lovey, when I showed you when I was making it on Thursday. Because I usually do my prep, for my lives on a Thursday. And we can do, now of course you could stamp, you know, your stars or something in there to continue the theme. I'm just putting my Very Vanilla base inside. So yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Have a look at that, everyone. Thank you, Marsha. What is Leslie Ann saying? I see the generous block has changed to 200 grams. Ah, right.
It's the Whittakers.
The Whittakers, yep. So there we are, everyone. So let's just run through what I've done. So I took a pecan pie base, and I took a pecan pie layer, my second layer, and a smoky slate layer, and all the measurements are on my blog. They should be there already, hopefully. And then I just stamped the stars in early espresso from the Decorative Trees, and then I took some of my early espresso ink, and then I just did a blend around the edge. And then I took Very Vanilla and my Real Red dark alcohol blend and drew some diagonal stripes. But if you have the candy cane look paper, you can use that. And then I had my 4 postage stamps from my perennial postage. If you've got another die, you can use that. Dipped that in my craft ink, white craft ink, did my real red little faux stripes around to make it look like stitching. And then these were a bit of a cheat. These were from my Cricut access that I just chose and cut, and then just did a bit of a iridescent embossing with that, and then the sentiment, and then put it all together. Oh, and the stitching, the actual stitching around the edge was linen thread, which I coloured with my real red blend. But again, if you've got, this one was red thread that I had, so that one was actual thread that I had that was red, but this one I had used that, but this one I didn't, so I made my own thread colour. So there we go. Aren't they gorgeous? Thank you so much, everybody, for your lovely compliments. Yes, I'm really pleased with how they've turned out. And like I say, it's a different card design to what I usually would consider for Christmas. Completely different card colours. But I actually think it's really good for a male, for a masculine. Maybe that's why it resonated with you, eh? Because you loved it when you saw it. You were like, wow, that's beautiful. So,
Yep.
So cool. Just, it's so much fun doing different things and stepping outside your comfort zone. So that's us. That was us for Tuesday. And thank you for crafting with me. It's always so much fun having you in my room, as it were, and chatting to folk that I know and folk that I don't. And if you're watching on the replay, welcome to everyone that was on the replay. And I look forward to seeing everybody next week again. I don't yet know what I'm going to be making. That's Thursday. I'll be sitting here and having a play. But yeah, thank you so much for crafting with me, everybody. And I honestly love every minute of being with you. So have a good week, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.